Oh,
What up, doe? What up, doe?
all right. We in
Oh,
there.
we back and cracking. Peace and blessings, everyone. Want y'all to welcome y'all to another great episode of Just a Conversation. And we rocking out with my beloved brother, Rocky Blanco, out of Indiana, via New York. Go and tell him what you about, King.
Yo, peace and blessings. Thank you for having me on first and foremost. Y'all know it's your boy Rocky Blanco, Blame Blanco Productions. I'm a producer, near graphic designer, wear a lot of hats and crowns. You know what I mean?
You know.
You know.
Just a normal everyday um normal everyday thing for a young Asiatic king in America.
For sure.
Now, let's get a little background, bro. We got you in the hip hop and all these many crowns that you wearing.
Yeah, man, let's go back to the beginning, man. It all started when I was born. I was born in New York City, Bronx, New York, the home of it all, the Mecca. So
Shout
it's
out to the
crazy.
Bronx.
I woke up when I was a kid going outside and there was cardboard on the floor, b-boys dancing, graffiti everywhere. Cats was playing on trash cans and rapping. DJs was having parties in the park everywhere I went. It was right there. So it was the influence of me being born right into it. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Amen.
then I would say probably like 1980s. We moved to Indiana. My mom moved from New York, brought me here, and I had the influence with me. So, and when it was hitting here, I was already ahead of the game pretty much because I knew what was already going on from being in the middle of it all.
Right.
So, just growing up, being into hip hop music and just being around studios as I got older and cats that was I was a b-boy myself. I think I was probably like 8 years old. I started popping, doing popping and locking, and then
Oh,
I say about word, and then like 10 years old, I was a beatbox champion, and
oh,
that's where it all started. I was a b-boy and a beatbox, and I beatboxed all the way through about seventh grade,
right.
like 1989. We was the crew got together. We was beatbox. I was beatboxing. Cats was rapping. And back then, some young cats in middle school, they didn't have the skills of the MCs of, that was out there doing it. They was just some kids that was trying to do it. And I
Right.
was like, man, these dudes ain't, you know what I mean? They just ain't cutting it. So I stopped beatboxing, started rapping out of nowhere. They all just looked at me like, yo, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of like just, I observed growing up everything going on and how everything was put together with hip hop. So like when I just stopped beatboxing, I just went into an acapella verse. They just went nuts and was like, "Yo, you should be a rapper." And ever since then, I just really started doing a lot of freestyling. I was doing house parties that DJs was inviting me to,
Right.
freestyling and stuff. And then I'll probably say I was about 15, 16 years old. I started writing. Uh,
Okay.
I started writing and I wasn't coming up with too much songs, I wouldn't say, but just like a verse or a couple bars or something to just say while the DJ was rocking at a party or something. I
Right.
write something for the party or something. And then as I got older, I think about 19 years old, I'll say is when I got serious about it and started like writing songs and getting into production and understanding more about like the other side of just being a rapper, you know what I mean? Or just being a B-boy or just being that kid that was into hip hop, you know what I mean?
Gotcha. Now, as far as being in the game for the years that you've been in it, what advice do you have for the up and coming artists, the up and coming hip hop artists that want to delve down into the culture of hip hop, or even just the ones that got talent and actually want to make a little few ends off of it? You know what I'm saying? Any
Yeah.
advice you got for them?
Well, at the end of the day, I'm gonna say this. Music is music. There's no genres really. Hip hop could be within anything. They using hip hop and rock. They using hip hop and EDM. It's getting into everything. So
Right.
one thing right there is always be versatile. Never just be that one horse show, one pony show. You know, this is all you do. Be versatile. Second, understand your history, man. Pay dues, pay homage to what really went on before you came on this paved road that these cats paid for you, and understand where you're going and where it came from before you just start, spitting from the mouth and saying some stuff that's gonna get you all kinds of media. I mean, media is media, good or bad, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Don't be out
Right.
here saying that you better than the great, so you don't respect the great. You know what I'm saying? Go back and pay homage to what's really going on, what brought you to be able to be who you are. You know what I
Amen.
mean? And
Amen.
the third thing I'm gonna say is never give up. Never give up. I don't care
That's
if you 9 years old today and 90 years old down the road and you think you still ain't made it. And this is for anything. This ain't just music. This is just life in general. Just never give up on what you're trying to do, because you never know when that day's gonna come that it's gonna hit. It's gonna be yours.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? Like
That's
nothing happens overnight, but things happen overnight. You feel me?
come
As
on
long
now.
as you put the work in every day before that night.
Ooh wee. Drop
Right.
that science, King. Drop that science.
For sure.
All right now. Now listen. As far as hip hop, the industry, the underground, what's your views on hip hop today, my brother? Because you know, me and you both come from the three different generations of hip hop, so we just seen it. You know what I'm
From the beginning to now, you know what I'm saying? We've been
saying? Yeah. So
began,
for the
watched it
youngsters,
grow.
right?
So
For the
I'll
young,
say this. I'll say this. The growth of hip hop is beautiful
okay,
all day. I love it.
totally,
Yeah,
I agree with
it's
you.
everywhere. It's in country, it's in rock, it's in EDM, it's in every kind of music that you could think of, jazz, everything melded together to make hip hop, and now hip hop's being used in everything. You feel me? So my thing is like today, I'm happy that artists like I say like Method Man, Redman, the older artists that are still relevant, that are still putting out verses that are still dope. You know what I'm saying? That keeps me motivated and inspired, because it's like, yo, they still doing that and they still great at it. But for the younger people, it's hard to find who's great yet, because it takes time to be great. You know what I mean? You don't just come out the gate the great one. And
Right.
that's the problem. It gets thrown around too much. That you a goat
Well,
off the jump. You can't be a goat
nah,
off the jump. You gotta have time in to be a goat. You know what I'm saying? And that's when them terms are loosely thrown around. Oh, he's a GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Well, how's he a GOAT if he only been around 2-3 years? You know what I'm saying? We don't know that. So, like, what I'll say is, like, the present state of hip hop is
yeah,
great, because some of the greats are still doing it and they're still great at it. And these younger cats are starting to understand you can't just go out here and think you the best off top, and not pay homage to those that paved that path for you. You know what I'm saying? And they seeing that, because artists that did come and kind of threw that under the bus, you feel me? And was like, yo, I'm better than Tupac or Biggie or Pun, or you know what I'm saying? They saying they better than the greats who paved the way for them, and they haven't even put in the time. And then they saying they goats, and that's where it gets to the point where it's like, y'all messing up the culture, the game, But then you got the cats that's coming in that do pay homage and that do understand. Like I say, what's your young boy name from up in I think he's from Detroit or so, or where he from? Afro. You know what I'm talking about? Dude that got on with R.A. Rugged.
Afro. No,
Light
you go
skinned
ahead.
with an afro, man. He spitting bars. Uh,
Uh,
let me see who else. Chris Reeves, Chris Rivers or whatever. Big Pun son.
yeah.
He got bars. He a young cat.
Oh,
Of course,
Cole.
J. Cole, Kendrick, those are the great for today. Some people may disagree, but these dudes have been around and they are standing the test of time of from when they started to where they've gotten to, and have paid homage to what was before them. So that's why I mentioned them. But you
Right.
know, so I say the state of hip hop is always going to be great because it can be maneuvered through anything. It's
Okay.
just the liking of the individual that's listening. You know, there's stuff I'm not going to listen to. There's stuff I'm going to love to listen to. You
Right.
know, as far as newer stuff. You know, and what I really love is hearing my legends coming into the new and still rocking.
True to
You know,
that. True to that. I agree with that. I totally agree with that, man. Because it's a lot of like I'll be talking with my stepsons. You know, they their generation is, you know, they love Tupac, they love Lil Durk, but at the same time, when you talking about who relevant, it's always based on who they see and hear nowadays. It's not about, oh man, such and such paid away and they finna drop something new. You know what I'm saying? It's
right.
well, is they popping right now? Well, yeah, they popping. You might not fuck with them, but they popping. You know what
Right,
I'm
right.
saying?
For sure, yeah. At the end of the day, all day.
Yeah.
And
So
that goes for the underground, especially, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us in the underground, that's where you got like niche hip hop. It's like you got your own style of hip hop that only a certain amount of people really like. No, you ain't got the millions of followers, but you got a couple thousand. You do good
right,
enough. You know what I'm saying? Like myself, I would say, you know, I get a couple 100,000 views a year. You know, I make a good, decent amount of money a year from it. No,
right,
I'm not a millionaire. No, I'm not a star doing it, but I'm pretty well decently known by my peers and a good amount of people in the underground to
right.
be stabilized. You feel me?
No,
But
you definitely on for sure, for sure.
right. But when it comes to like, you know, the industry stuff, you know, or independence artists that do have that big following, that do have, so I say somebody like Big Sean, you know what I'm saying? Big Sean got a big following. He got, you know, he got his independent thing going on.
Right.
And he's a dope artist, you know what I'm saying?
For
Of
sure.
today. He's one of the younger dope artists of today. Yeah, and like you can see like people like him, how they build and move. They're not just in this for the music, you know, they're in this for the business. You know what I
Right.
mean? And when you get in this for the business, then your whole aspect of everything changes of what he's
Man.
turning into supply and demand. Now you gotta look what the people want before you putting it out. You know what I'm saying? What do the
Right.
people want from you? You know what I mean? Compared to somebody that's just at home writing a song, doing it for itself. It's like, I'm just gonna write this because I feel this. But then you get
Right.
a artist like per se, you know, Big Sean or a J. Cole or something, they writing for what they writing for themselves, but they writing for what the people want because people want to hear them because they got such a big following. So
Right.
that's, I would say, definitely that's a big difference between like underground industry and how the state of hip hop is today too. Because a lot of the underground stuff is that raw shit. You know what I mean?
Fact.
And
Yeah.
it keeps to that culture. And when it comes to the industry stuff, like I said, they're writing for the fan. They're writing for what the people want to hear. Like Cardi B writes for what the people want to hear. They ain't writing no song for himself. You know what I'm saying? But like Ghostface Killer, he writes songs for what he want to do, you know. But at the
Right.
same time, it's stuff that people want to hear from him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I mean, it's first and foremost, if you're in it as for the profit, then yeah, you got to learn the business end of it.
Right.
Uh, but if we think about it, the way the industry is today, a lot of these artists that's, you know, as we say, called popping and all this other stuff, they're not really making majority of their finances from the music. They're making their finances from side ventures.
Exactly. You gotta have endorsements,
Uh,
concerts. You gotta be doing festivals. You gotta have merchandise. Uh,
yeah, exactly. So
Everything digital going on. You know what I mean? You gotta get into the NFTs. Well, them are kind of falling a little bit, but you know,
no,
find
it's
niches to get into to find ways to make income doing this. Like just rapping isn't gonna get you there. You know what I'm saying?
see,
But if
and
you have
that's and
songwriters that you're writing
and
songs for other artists, oh, you just found a new lane that pays
right,
more than you just rapping and you're streaming. You know, streams ain't shit. You ain't gonna
right,
get nothing from streams. Sorry
exactly.
for
See,
the
and
language, but
this is the thing. I'm sorry, King, not to cut you off, but this is the thing, and this is what I wanted to ask you as far as when it comes to the young artist that's just getting in the game, he in the underground or she in the underground making waves right now, but they looking to move off into the industry so they can start flexing and flashing and driving the whips and everything that they see they
Yeah.
favorite industry artists doing. The industry artist is not letting them know that they're not making all this flash off of just rap. They not
Right.
telling the youngsters this.
Right. Well, there's always got to be the secret. You know what I'm saying? That's where it comes
But
into.
it's a false illusion.
Right, and it's the thing. At the end of the day, your favorite rapper don't own them cars in the video. Your favorite rapper ain't really throwing them bands around like that.
Right.
I mean, they'll do it for the camera.
Of
They'll do it
course.
for the gram. But at the end of the day, they finding new ways to hit money in that checkbook. They selling merch. They getting their music into television and commercial. I mean, right there is the biggest opportunity for any artist right now is sync placement. I don't care if you're in the industry or an underground artist. Sync placement is the best way to get paid for your music. And what that
What is
is,
that?
your music, a sync license to per se a Netflix show or movie wants to use your song for a part in their show. You know what I mean?
Right.
So every time that show gets played and your music's on there, you getting a royalty for that. And they pay out what's called a front end, which you don't get in the music industry unless you're in the industry with a label deal. You know, with a
Right.
label deal, yeah, you get an advance, pretty much the same thing. But this isn't an advance. This ain't nothing you got to pay back.
Right.
With a label, they give you $1 million, you got to pay that $1 million back.
Oh yeah, all day.
But with a sync license, if they give you 150,000 up front and then give you 10% on the back end, you get that 150. You don't gotta pay that back. Plus, you get all that back end every 3 months from how many ever times that show's played. So let's say song on Power. A song on Power, whoever got their song on Power on the sync license go get paid.
Right.
Because that's a well-known show. A lot of people watching it. It gets millions of views a day. It's gonna get you paid for a show like that to get your song on it.
Now how does
That right there alone is one of the biggest secrets that a lot of artists won't tell because that's how they make their big bread. You can get $350,000 off a track if you in a big production. You know what I mean? So you got into a movie that's like, say before Avatar, the new Avatar came out, right? And I just made this dope beat and they loved it and was like, yo, we want to use this for this part. I would have got paid out huge for that, plus a nice royalty percentage on the back end.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's paying way better than streaming and anything you're gonna do. You know, even do a show, you think artists probably get like a big name artist probably get like 150 for a show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But shit, they get like 400,000 or 500,000 to get their song into a movie, into a big production. You know what I mean?
Now, how would one go about acquiring this sync license?
So this is the difficulty. This is where the secretive stuff is right here. Really, what you got to do is find people that know people that know people that know people that know the music directors of these shows. You can't just get in touch with these music directors because they're not easy to get a hold of, like individually. But if you can get in with people that are getting these sync licenses and ask them for a little help, you'll find somebody that'll help you out and be like, okay, check this out. Here goes a email for NBC. Send some stuff to NBC and see if they want to use it. You know, and the guy's name to address it to, and this is the guy. Okay, yeah, let me listen to this, and they'll listen to it. And here's my thing: I'm gonna give y'all some advice. You want to send in no more than 2-minute snippet. I wouldn't even go 2 minutes. I'd go a minute snippet. You make a minute snippet of your song, a minute snippet of your beat or whatever. Find the music director of these commercials, TV shows, movies, whatever it may be, and get your music in their email boxes. Now you can use some sites There's Music X-Ray. They're a site that you can go to, and they have all kinds of opportunities. It'll say the opportunity to pay out and all that, and you can click on it. You do have to pay to submit. You can submit on there. You can get a decent, nice little paycheck out of it. You know, I've seen a couple nice little ones myself. I know a couple people have gotten 30, 40, 50,000 off of a nice little placement. You know what I mean?
Right.
And for a person to just get that much off of one song or one beat,
Oh
compared
man,
to
shit, that'll
working
make a
50
motherfucker
or
happy.
40 hours and get paid whatever the job's gonna pay you. That's gonna
Right.
be, that's way more lucrative than that just for one beat. So, but here's the thing: once you get in there and they start hearing, they want more from you. And I'm not gonna, you get as low as $500 for a placement. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like I've gotten little placements at 500, $1,000 placements, which they're cool.
Right.
It's just a little opportunity that somebody had some content and they liked your music and wanted to put it behind their content.
Hey
You know?
man.
But
Yeah.
then you have commercials like Mercedes commercials or a soap commercial or a Apple Watch commercial or whatever, some big product. And if you get into those, that's where that money's at. And getting into those, once you get into them, people start hearing more. And then it's pretty much the same thing as building a fan base with music, but you're building a fan base with music directors. And now they want to hear your music and want to use your music for sync licensing, which is putting into
Right.
radio, commercial, TV, stuff like that. And
Okay.
what
No.
the license does, it license your song, so you still own the rights of your song,
Right.
and you can sync license it to numerous places. So let's say Apple Watch wanted to use a snippet of the beat, but then this movie wanted to use the second half of the beat, right?
Right.
You can do that. You can get paid double off that.
Okay.
Same thing, you know what I mean? Because it's sync licensing. So you can actually be licensed and you can have people licensed from you multiple times.
Right.
So
Off
it's
of what?
a definitely big opportunity, and it works with production, with just scoring and beats and stuff like that, as well as songs and written songs and all that. So like, it's a big opportunity out there that a lot of people have not I wouldn't say haven't heard of, but at least don't have the knowledge to understand how to get into it. It's kind of like getting a label deal. It's the same thing. It's like, how do I get this label deal? You got to get in
Right.
front of them. You got to get your music to them. You got to keep pumping in front of them. I say the biggest example I can use, and this from our era, would be Exhibit. So Exhibit sat in front of, I think it was Sony Records in California for like
Uh-huh.
6 years straight, freestyling every day, anybody that walked in and out of that door. And finally, somebody brought him in. It was
For
like,
real?
yo, who the fuck are you? What do you want? And he told him, and he did his thing, and it was like, oh shit, you're dope. Okay. And they put him on. But this man spent 6 years outside that door waiting to get in. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Yeah. So that
That's
shows right there, not only, okay, this dude is dope, but also dedicated, you know what I'm saying? And to get a deal like that, you don't just get to walk in them buildings. Like, okay, so I was offered a single deal from Sony BMG myself down
right.
in Miami. And, I had been in the game for quite a while at that time. I've been putting in work. I had a lot of music out there. A lot of people got to hear my stuff. We were down there dropping a demo at the time. We just so happened to come across the A&R that was out putting up posters, and we gave them our demo. They got our demo. Ended up, I got a call, and they wanted me for it because each of us, it was me and two of my other dudes that put a demo together. We had songs together, and then we all had a solo track.
Right.
And, so I got called for my solo track from Sony BMG, and they wanted to put me on for the solo track. So I get into this meeting, you know what I'm saying? I get to go into this building and sit with these suits, you know what I mean? And see what it's really about. And this is at the point that the 360 deal was just starting, and you started hearing about the Illuminati deals and all that kind of stuff that was starting to become like 2004, like very public. That people were like, oh yeah, we got a whole deal going on out here, you know what I'm saying, with this Illuminati and 360 deals and this or whatever it may be. I'm just saying the words that people were using, but you know what I'm saying, just to kind of put a light on it. So at this time, they offered me 150,000 for a single. But here's the deal: this is what they don't tell you. 150,000 ain't gonna cut it. You know what I mean? It costs over 250,000 for a single to go out, because you got to do a video, you got to do imaging, you got to do marketing, promotion. I mean, everything and anything you can think of that goes along with it costs a lot of money. And the thing is, with a label, they will only let you work with who they say. You can't go home and take that 150,000 to your friends.
Yeah, see, I was just about to ask you that. I
couldn't come back to Indiana with $150,000 and have my Indiana producer make a beat, or have my Indiana videographer do the video, or have my Indiana digital imagers do any of my images or anything. It had to all be with them. And here's the thing: the 150,000 ain't no cash advance. It's a loan.
It's a loan, right?
Right, and they give it to you on a card. You don't get that in cash. You get it on a card, and that card can only be used within those parameters of what they let you. You know what I'm saying?
That's like,
we only want you to work with Lil X for the video. We only want you to work with DJ Khaled for the beat. We only want you to work. That's what you got to go with, and you got to pay those prices.
Wow.
You know, so at the end of the day, yeah, you could put that single out, but you ain't even gonna get a video, to be honest, for 250,000. You're still looking at another couple $100,000 for the video to be right. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, so at the end of the day, they're giving you a loan that would have had to be paid. Now, this is what the paperwork said. I can tell you exactly. This is an advance $150,000 loan. It's not an advance that you keep, and this is your money. This is a loan to go out and get everything done that needs to be done to drop this song to make money back. Now I owe back the 150 plus 10% on top of that because of interest, and then whatever's made after that, I only got 10%,
and they get 90.
Right.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, exactly. So at the end of this meeting, now I'm not gonna say no names or nothing like that because we ain't got to do all that. But at the end of this meeting, I said I humbly decline. I will take my dignity and pride and walk out of this building and not leave my blood on this paper. And I got went off on. I was like went off on. Like I would never do anything, be anything, or ever touch anything in the industry. Type of thing. Like when I walked out that door, that's pretty much what they told me. You would never do anything in this industry.
Wow.
And I walked away and I said, you know what? Y'all can say what you want, but I'm gonna still do what I do.
Exactly.
And no, I haven't made no label deal or became no big star in the industry. But at the same time, I'm still doing what I do, and I've got it to a point where I'm decent in my following that I can sustain myself doing it. You know what I mean? Without that kind of backing. I'm not saying I'm making 150,000 off of it, but still, I'm making a decent amount of money to add to what I make. It's just more streams of income. That's all.
Right, bro. Look, I agree with you. I wouldn't have took that either, right? Because
here's the thing: a lot of these young cats take it because they want that so bad. And here's the thing: I didn't have no $150,000 to back their $150,000, but I know that I could come home and for like $2,000-3,000 out of my pocket have something done and popping, and make 10 to 20 back off it. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
And that's pretty much what I did. I came home. I put my money into some studio time at home, some beats at home with my people. I made the album. I got it pressed up. I got everything all done. I did the graphics myself. I
Right.
took my CDs and I put them in a backpack. I put them in my trunk, and everywhere I went, I was popping.
You see? Come on now. Bro,
Right.
listen, bro. Man, look, I got mad honor, love, respect, everything for you and your Indiana crew, bro. Bro,
So,
you out there, you done made moves, you done shows, you done put people on. Bro, you done shit with DJ Paul and other states and your state, man. Come on, man. So that
yeah.
little, you know what I'm saying? That little sidetrack talking about what you ain't gonna do this. It's all on the most high what you go do, God. So
Right.
hey,
It's all in the hands of the what I want to call it, because it's myself, but it's in the hands of the beholder, I guess you want to say that. I guess I could say that, like, it's in my hands.
yeah,
My what I do is what I'm gonna do, and it's in my hands to do it. It's not in nobody else's hands to tell me that I can't or can or what I can or can't do. You know what I mean?
right.
At
See
the
the
end of
thing,
the day, I'm gonna, and I know another brother. He's a famous producer. Well, I won't say famous producer. He's a famous producer. He's a platinum producer. He
mhm,
did for some great artists, and still to this day, he's in this struggle of like trying to keep everything afloat with this industry shit. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Because of how the industry works compared to the independents. Now, when we all showed him about the independent game, when he started coming around us, he was like, "Oh shit!" So he now knows, and he now does better with the independent game than he did with the industry game. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Man, look, we just go keep it real 100 and neither one of us been in the industry per se,
right,
but energy, bro. And I'm talking about on some high level, other type of level frequency type thinking, the energy of the industry, bro. And we can take it from the media news to the social media news, et cetera, et
oh
cetera, et cetera. Looks like it's the shit. And I'm
right,
not only talking about music, I'm talking about Hollywood too. They give the image as if it's, oh, you know what I'm saying?
right.
All
They make
angels
it
and
look
all
all
that.
glamour and gold, but everything that glitters
Man,
ain't gold.
hey, come on, God. Come on now. Look, they go through all kind of mental illnesses and they try to hide it with the materialism that they are engrossed in.
Right.
And done in a negative fashion. If it was done in a positive fashion, then it wouldn't be so much death in hip hop nowadays. It wouldn't be
Fact.
so many of these Hollywood
It's
stars.
so glorified.
They,
So
bro, they
glorified.
dead in their
So like,
20s.
okay, I'll bring it back to because I was talking about Power. You get a song of Power, you be up there. But Power, that movie or the show Power,
Yeah,
um, man, so glorified, glorified murder, glorified drug dealer, glorified this that. But then it does show this is where everything ends up. You either end up dead or in jail, either way. But the
yeah.
glorified part of it while you're out,
But that's
even
always
showing like people that went, they're in, but they're still glorifying. Oh yeah, he in prison, he hard, and he got a phone, and he got a TV, and he got everything in his deal, and he got a woman coming to see. That's glorifying it to somebody be like, oh man, I go do some prison time, have my girlfriend see me live like that. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
glorifying the wrong things in life, and that's one of the biggest things Hollywood is. Like you said, Hollywood definitely has done. Well, I won't even say Hollywood. I'll just say, like you said, the media has taken everything, especially us, our culture, and exploited the hell out of us. You know what I'm saying? To where everything we do wrong is glorified and everything we do right is shut down.
yeah. Because see, and that goes to another question I was gonna ask as far as do you feel that the hip hop genre has been attacked from the inside out to be destroyed and used only to be a negative influence upon the youth. What's your views on that?
You just hit the nail on the head, brother. Look, 1990s, man, the era. We had music talking about
everything. It was a balance.
Right. We had music talking about partying. We had music that had knowledge. We had music that was soulful and had feeling to it. Then all of a sudden, now we talk about. I ain't saying nothing wrong with it because I feel that way too. But when Fuck the Police came out, the game, it changed the whole narrative.
It was way before
Fuck the bad guy, of course, because now we saying fuck the good guy. The police are supposed to be the good guy, and we saying F the police.
We've been saying fuck the police, bro.
Right, we've been saying it, but we finally came into a voice saying it more than just, we couldn't just go on the news and be like, man, fuck the police, but these dudes came out with an album.
It wasn't necessary fuck the police to put gangster music on to the degrees where it started. Now it was NWA, but NWA wasn't the first ones to put gangster music.
Well, no, I know that.
Yeah, but
we go back to PSK for gangster music.
The negative imagery of hip hop started filtering in along that same time. Now,
around that time era is when all this, the hardcore gangster stuff started coming out to where it was glorified,
right?
To say this is what if you are a melanated brother in the hood, this is how you should live and act.
Right. Yeah, but
they weren't like trying to go into Beverly Hills and see the few black folks that lived in Beverly Hills that were doing well in life and that were wealthy because they did the right things and stuff like that. They didn't want to teach us that. They didn't want to glorify that. They wanted to glorify the white man doing that. They didn't want to glorify the brother doing that. And they wanted to glorify us as the gangster in the hood, the thug, the monster, whatever they could to portray us as less than a man.
But that's the whole key.
And it's always been like that. I mean, that's Jim Crow bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So like, this shit been around for a long, long time. And now that we know it and we're way deeper in with it, we can definitely reverse. But it's going to take a lot. It's going to take time. It's coming. It's definitely coming. But it's going to reverse.
The thing about it is, bro. Yeah, for sure it's going to reverse. And see, that's one of my main goals as far as the underground with the hip hop is to bring a balance back to the industry hip hop, if that ever happens.
I would say this:
in our time,
we are inches closer now than we were when we was kids growing up.
True to that.
We are inches closer. We was miles from it when we were kids. We were miles from it just a few years ago, but now we getting to a point where we're getting closer to it. We just inches from it now. We get like few years away from this change happening.
Right.
And when that reversal happens, that's when we'll finally be able to understand and know the truth of what our culture is and where we was and who we was. We know, me and you, and individuals that are like us that have the knowledge, have knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and stand on their square firmly in their circle. You know what I'm saying? We know what's going on.
Right.
But it'll be to the point where everybody's going to know. And now it can't be stopped. You know what I mean? You can't stop the truth once it hits.
Oh man, come on now. It's like a freight train.
Right. It's gonna hit. It's not gonna be a pretty day. It's not gonna be a pretty day, but at the same time, the end of it's gonna be beautiful.
Oh, for sure. Oh man, come on, man. God time all day long.
For sure.
Now let me give us some of your spiritual insight, my brother.
As far as that goes, I've studied everything. I started out in New York. My mom used to take me to the synagogue, the Jewish Hebrew synagogue.
Right.
So I started off in Hebrew and Judaism as a kid. And then when we came to Indiana, my aunt and uncle were Catholic, so we went to Catholic church. And then I
Right.
had a friend that was Baptist that wanted me to go to a Baptist church or the church. I'm like 12, 13 years old by this point. I've been through these few different kind of places. Then I start going to other people and they were this religion, this religion. And I started listening to it. And I'm like, y'all arguing about the same thing, but y'all disagreeing with each other about the same thing.
Right.
Like, what? Hold on. How can you be that How are you going to be a Christian? You're going to be a Catholic, but you don't agree with him. But you're saying, hold on, y'all reading the same book. So now I'm finding, like, what's going on? I started outward thinking at that point. Coming to being about 15, 16 years old, coming to the God bodies and understanding what's going on with them and learning the math and learning knowledge and all that good stuff, you know what I mean? And that was like a whole different mind state that I came into at a young age. I was given the mathematics and given the alphabet and all that and understanding what it really was. So then as I'm growing, I'm learning more about this, that, and third.
Right.
I would say probably about 19, going to 20 years old. By that time, I pretty much studied every religion, good and evil. I've looked at every writing. I've read the Bible. I've read the Quran. I've read I've read Buddhism. I've read about India and all that all different religions that are from different places and all these cultures and stuff. So I'm coming to seeing that there's a puzzle here and everything from all this fits, but it's not in just one.
Right.
So then I come to the mind that I start coming into, finding, on a hunt pretty much. I want to find and I want knowledge. I want all the knowledge I can find. I want to know everything. So then I fall down this rabbit hole that I come into what's called the Emerald Tablets. Now I know and a few that do know. I started reading that. So now I'm looking at everything and finding, okay, this story came from this story, and this story came from this story, and these people was talking about this, but made it into that, and seeing how it's all translated and mistranslated. And then I could take from this and that and put this together, you know what I'm saying? And then these books that they took away from other books, you know what I'm saying? I'm starting to read those and putting this piece of the puzzle, this piece of it. So here's, at the end of the day, this is what I'm trying to say, is it's a big puzzle and you're never going to find all the pieces in one place.
Man. All right.
If you want to know what the whole is to who you are, what you are, and what this world is about, then you will go down a big rabbit hole, and you have to understand from an aspect of every peripheral view. You can't just look forward.
Gotcha. You know what I mean? That's a fact. Now let me first let me give you a heads up because we at 43 minutes in right now. If it happens to cut off at the hour point, I'm gonna send you the link back and we'll start over with a part 2.
Okay.
If you don't have time, then we'll just leave it at this one.
We should be good either way.
Okay, that's a bet. Now, when you stepped upon the golden path, what was that around the same time you would come into the knowledge of mathematics and supreme math, et cetera, or was it after?
I would say probably. I would say after, because it took that to find the equation, to understand, to finally get to the understanding, to understand that there's more than just this. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, there's more to this than that. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like the way I look at things, especially like, my relationship with what I would call, or everybody that I know, we call the most high, or that most high frequency, or that most high power. And it really is. And people think, okay, so when you say the word God, automatically a Christian or a Catholic or whatever is going to get an image of an old man in their head. And that's not what that is.
No, it's definitely not.
You know what I'm saying? It's not, there's no old man. There's no spook in the sky.
Right.
It's within. And when you understand that part, then you get into where the frequencies come in. And the frequencies is where the most high is at. The most high is that the highest frequency that you can reach through your mental antenna, your third eye, or your pineal gland, as it's called. And reaching into them antenna, that's your antenna, that's your connection. You know what I mean? And opening that, and which we can get into that, which would be, you know, they're blocking that. They're trying to block that. They give us fluoride, they give us aluminum. What happens when fluoride and aluminum meet? They bond. What happens when metal and fluoride bond? They cause it's an antenna, but it's their antenna, so it only goes to their frequency. So that's what doubles down. That's what keeps us grounded. And when you can open your mind beyond that and stop using the products that cause that, like stop drinking out of aluminum cans, stop using aluminum-based deodorant, stop using anything that's got heavy metals in it, stop drinking tap water that got aluminum, iron, and all that kind of, you know, that's got, or not iron, but lead and stuff like that. Stop using toothpaste that has fluoride and mouthwashes that have fluoride. You know what I'm saying? Anything that got fluoride and aluminum, stop using those. And then you can finally be able to open your third eye and really understand how it works. But without it being able to open, and it is calcified by them products that they give us, you won't be able to open your third eye. You won't be able to see visually. You can visually see these frequencies with your third eye, is what I'm trying to get at. Like the chakras, you know, it's written in chakras. If you look at the lotus plant, the flower of life, all that, Fibonacci sequence, all that that's everything. You know what I mean? That's what we are. We spiral. We come from the spiral of the original. You know, it's original spiral out and become the, you know, the what you would call the dolt. Then it comes back to making another, and it spirals again. That's a child, and that's where you get like history repeats because of the spiral. It's a spiral. You feel me? And when you hit certain spots on that spiral, you have certain. That's what the sun does above us. It spirals around. You know, people don't. I'm not gonna get in all that, but the sun spirals. You know
no, sir. We can get into all that, brother.
He said we get into all that. Yeah. So the sun spirals. The sun goes on from a middle point to an outer point, and then back into a middle point.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so do we as life. Life is a spiral. That's where they get all that from when they tell you, like NASA, tell you we spiraling in outer space, and that's because life is a spiral. We are from that spiral. That's why we have what they call kinky hair or woolly hair. That's the spiral. That's how you get waves. Spiral.
The original locks.
Right. And then when you get the duality of that spiral, you know what I'm saying? You get from the triple stage darkness to the duality of spiral, which is boy, I'm about to get deep. Hold on. So the duality of spiral is you got your negative and your positive sides. You know what I'm saying? You got your negative spiral, your positive spiral, which is your magnetism and your frequencies, right?
Right.
So then we get into lowest frequencies, of course, your root down at the bottom, and then you got your most high frequency above your keter, your crown.
Right.
You know? And you can tap into this most high frequency with your third eye being open and be able to understand the points of the spiral where things happen. And then you understand more of your life of, okay, this is coming around. I know this time of this spiral line or timeline, this is what happens. No matter where I'm at in life, every time I get to this point, this type of thing happens. Because on that spiral, there's I won't say milestones, but it's kind of like milestones, you know what I mean? It's like this is what's going to happen when you come back around again.
Right.
You know, so kind of like I said, like the whole history repeats itself, you know. So
Right.
like your dad was a guy who did this. Well, then you grew up and you were the guy who did the same thing. You went
Yeah.
around that spiral because your spiral was the same thing. Every time you hit those milestones, certain things happen in your life. So when you understand when them are coming, and you know, okay, this on a negative spiral, and this always happens, so I need to avoid this. Now I know, so I can avoid that. Oh, this right here happens on my positive spiral every point of this point right here. So I got to make sure I'm present and I accept and get my blessing from that one.
Gotcha.
You feel me?
That's
So it's like understanding. Wow, it's deep. It's like understanding your points of life when they come around to you and what's going to happen before it happens so that you can navigate and maneuver through it. But without your third eye open, you won't ever get to see that or know that, and you'll just keep getting stuck in the matrix. You keep getting stuck in the labyrinth. You know what I mean?
right. A lot of people like being in that labyrinth.
Yeah, they like fighting minotaurs.
Yeah. Yeah. Running around all like a rabbit with the head cut off.
Yeah. See, and that's the thing, man. I was that kid that was running around with my head cut off. Like, what is really going on out here? Like, why are they telling me these things? Why is this like that? Why am I being lied to about damn near everything? You know what I'm saying? And then I have to find the truth. And to find the truth is not easy because, like I said,
because
it takes a lot.
You got to sit down and learn self.
You got to sift through the lies to find the truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's many lies where the truth lies.
Exactly. You gotta sit down and learn who you are first.
Right. You gotta know you. You gotta love you. You gotta understand you before you can move into the next person or understand them or even anything in life to get the knowledge of it.
Amen.
Because that's where it all starts. It starts in knowledge.
Amen.
You gotta have the knowledge. If you don't have the knowledge, you can't move forward to wisdom.
Word.
If you don't have wisdom and understand to get to if you can't obtain wisdom, you will never understand.
That's
and
true.
If you don't understand, well, then you'll become ignorant and then you won't know nothing and you're stuck.
Man, Walking Dead.
Those jewels right there, those main three jewels right there will take your path, will open your path up, and you'll know where to go from that. Once you get to the path and understand, once you hit 120 of knowledge, 120 of wisdom, and 120 of understanding, your path is open. You'll be able to walk and see. You know what I mean? But it's not just so 120 of knowledge is not just that knowledge, though. It's all the knowledge. And 120 wisdom is not just that wisdom, it's all the wisdom. And 120 of understand is not just understanding, it's overstanding what you understand.
Okay. Break that shit down.
Right. I got it right now, but yeah. I pass it along to, you know, this we passed words through was a proverb, what they call proverbs in the Bible.
Yeah, wise actions.
Speaking as a proverb right now.
Yeah, they wise actions all day.
Yeah, the wise answers, the proverb.
Yeah. For sure.
And the thing is, when it gets written down, it gets mistranslated. But when it gets spoken to directly, that person that gets spoken to was the person that was meant to accept that and be able to utilize it through their own path. You know what I mean? But those that can't hear with deaf ears and can't see with blind eyes and don't know with dumb minds, they not gonna get there. They stay in the double mind state, and they stay in that where their spirals don't get that double spiral. You know, they only get that single, and it's all negative. It's all negative, positive, but it's never. It's never a balance.
Right.
It'd be like today something good happened, but then tomorrow 10 things bad happen.
Right. Yep.
You know
I agree with you.
Because they stuck in dumb, deaf, and blind and couldn't see.
Yeah.
They don't have
I
that. They
mean,
don't have knowledge of self. They don't have the wisdom to speak, and they don't have the understanding to know better.
Prophet Noble Drew Ali said you can't wake all these sleepy-headed Moors up at one time. They might tear up something. You know what I'm saying? So signs and symbols are definitely for the
That
conscious of mind.
I could go talk to 1,000,000 people, but I only expect 10 of them to get it.
Exactly. Exactly. Why don't
Hey,
you let everybody know where to find you at?
yo, you can find me on Instagram at blame_Blanco. You can find me on Facebook, Rock Blanco the Champ, or just Rock Blanco. You can find me on TikTok, Rock Blanco. I got my own beat store. It's called BlameBlancoProductions.com. You can go check out some beats. Or you can hit me on the messenger. I got beats all day that people want to check them out. I also mix, master, I engineer. I can do a lot of stuff. I'm a one-stop shop. I do graphics, flyers, cover art, logos, business cards. I can help you with your business side, entrepreneurship. I can teach you things about the game you might not know. Yeah, man. Check me out. I'm everywhere. If you ain't never there, then you'll never know.
Woo! Rocky Blanco got a bunch of crowns on, and every last one of them shining bright. That's what's up.
Hey, I appreciate you, my brothers. Hey, I hope the people that's listening today, I went into a rabbit hole with y'all, man. I got deep with y'all, and it's for a reason because some things have to be said sometimes for people to understand. And you might have to listen to it 10 times to really get the grasp of what I'm saying. But when you get it and you understand that, you're going to see things around you way different, and you're going to open that third eye, and you're going to be able to see what I'm talking about. And then you're going to say, oh, that change he was talking about coming is coming. And I see.
Amen. Free your mind.
Crazy thing is, I've known that shit since like 95, 96. I known this change was coming. I know the time of this change and everything. Like I said right now, 2027.
Amen.
Look for it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be a very big change.
Oh, look, come on now. I'm
Man,
already ready.
God will be liberated and will be justified and will
I'm
be
all
known as a man and not anything else or other.
word. That's a blessing. Love you heard me?
Yep.
What I say?
So yeah, man, it's definitely coming, man. We got some greatness to look forward to.
Right.
Yes, sir.
I say I love you, my brother.
Oh, much love, bro. I love you for life, death, and all the way through, man. You my brother since day one when I met you. You my cosmic twin.
You already know it. You already know it.
And I really
Man.
appreciate you for having me on today and let me get this, get some things off the mind and let some people understand for a minute, Let some people get some of that good understanding because that's what it takes. You got to get through that knowledge and wisdom. That's what that understanding is.
Man,
That's
divine
when the
family.
doors open. That's when the path opens. That's when you get to see.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
You enjoy the rest of your day, my brother. Peace and blessings to you and the family. Salute to Indiana. Y'all know what it is. Mad salute to She Wolf, Young YOLO. Y'all know what it is, y'all.
Yes,
It's your boy.
sir.
And just a conversation with my motherfucking brother, Rocky Blanco.
Peace and blessings, y'all. Thank you for having me on, my brother.
Viva Vava La, brother. Peace.
Sir, all's well, all's life.
All is truly.
Yes, sir. Peace.
Peace.